What's up everybody, today Microsoft announced that they were going to be taking all of the Riot games and porting them over to Xbox Game Pass in this upcoming December. This is really exciting because Valorant and League of Legends, which are probably the two biggest games in the world right now, are coming over to mobile. This is a really big deal as we can now play League of Legends and Valorant on a mobile setup anywhere we go, and maybe you're potentially away from home or you're just sitting in bed and don't want to get over to your PC setup. You are able to play these games in a more accessible way. Another thing about this that's really neat is say you don't have a computer that's powerful enough to run Valorant, you can now play Valorant in any format, on a tablet, on a phone, on a system that's maybe not powerful enough to support playing those games. And so I think what Microsoft is doing here is really special, but there's also a bit of a caveat to this in the sense that Microsoft is now going to own almost everything. It seems like they are partnered with Bethesda, they're partnering with Riot, and they're creating this giant monopoly on games. And Microsoft has made it very clear that they don't care where you play their games, they don't care how you play their games, as long as you were playing their games and you were subscribing to their service. Because when you subscribe to Game Pass, this is a passive income for them in order to make money. And so as a business model, it's great because they make passive income and you get everything you want. Instead of buying, $10 or $20, $60 games, you have access to 500 plus games for $20 a month. I'll put the correct number up, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's not a bad deal, and there's a lot of games that you can play just readily available by having Games Pass. But this also goes back to my previous video that I'll put in a card, whatever side it is, about the big concept between digital and physical games. This is a push by Microsoft to get rid of physical games, partially too because now we are no longer having games given out physically, but they're all digital format, which again goes into that accessibility thing of we can now access all of our games without having to trade out cards, without having to go and get the physicals at the store if you live somewhere where you may be really far away from a game store. And so there's so many more options available to gamers to play these games, and I think what Microsoft is doing here is just incredibly special, because no one else is really taking such a strong stance as they are when it comes to virtualizing gaming and making it readily available in every possible format. And with the coming of League of Legends and Valorant, which are games that I avidly play on stream very regularly, so if you want to go watch me on Twitch, you can watch me at Twitch at twitch.tv/Gigasaurus. I'll put a link down in the description, so come join and stream, it's a fun time. I am very excited for these games to come over, because sometimes I am away from home because I travel a lot as a musician, as you can see all of these instruments behind me, and so I want to be able to play my games, but I can't bring my entire desktop setup with me, so being able to play these games mobilely on a tablet or something or my phone is going to be really convenient, as I can still access those games and have a good time even if I'm out of town or away from my computer. When these games do finally release on Games Pass in December, we're going to test them out, run them through the ringer on every version of Games Pass that we can possibly imagine, and see, are they still fun to play? Are they viable options through Game Pass? Is it actually the controls make sense on mobile? Can it actually be done? And is there a competitive disadvantage to playing on your mobile setup versus your desktop setup? Or are they going to separate those lobbies so PC players are only playing with PC players and mobile players are only playing with mobile players? That way there's a bit of fairness, which I hope they don't go that route, because then it may be difficult to play with your friends depending on what your setup is. I'd prefer it to be you have your mobile lobbies, you have your PC only lobbies, and then you have a combined cross-play lobby. That way there's a bit of intermixing, and so people have the option to go between the three without having to really worry about whether or not they're playing on a certain system, if they'll be able to play with their friends. Going back to that Microsoft monopoly, what we're starting to see here is that Microsoft's winning right now. There's nothing that Microsoft has done as of late that's put a bad taste in people's mouth, where Nintendo has recently gotten themselves into a lot of trouble with their pre-order failure involving Xenoblade 3, lots of games being pushed back and delayed. Sony has also had their fair share of issues as of late, and Microsoft is really winning this battle of trying to own every game imaginable on their service. And so everyone's going to want Games Pass, and I can see 5, maybe closer to 10 years down the line, that Microsoft just completely eliminates the competition and they have all of the games within their grasp on their service. And once they do that, they have control of the entire space. They can decide whether or not you have physical or digital, or whether or not you're playing on a specific console. They will control the entire space, especially if they eliminate all of the competition. Now, is that to say that Sony's going to go out of business? No, but Sony could end up something like Sega, where they don't sell consoles anymore and they're just kind of pushing out games every now and then. So I'm really interested to see what the future is going to be of gaming as we are really in this kind of transitional phase to a new realm of gaming that I think a lot of us are trying to imagine, but we can't quite grasp yet. And so I'm excited to see where gaming goes in the future and how Microsoft and Sony and all of these other companies taking on this cloud gaming and these digital spaces are going to change gaming for the future. Now, I right now obviously don't have a definitive answer of what that's going to be. I don't think physicals are going to go away completely. I don't think Microsoft's going to totally shut down other companies, but it's definitely going to make them think to be more competitive in this space and how they are going to control their IP. This is just a quick video that I made because I was super excited about the Riot games coming over to Games Pass in this upcoming December so I can play mobilely. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Well, you guys can't see that metric, I can, and so that lets me know what you didn't like about the video. If there's something you think I can improve on, throw it down in the comments. Also tell me down in the comments, what do you think about the future of gaming with these games being brought over to Microsoft, the Microsoft monopoly on gaming? Let me hear it all in the comments. Again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.